Hey, I know you don't have any kids, but has anybody ever called you Daddy?
No, but I've been called Big Papa.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember this one time I showed up to this girl's house. I was bringing a big package. And turns out, when I got there, I found out that she'd already had a package delivered.
Wow.
So I grabbed her box, and I reached in, I got these things out, and I just started popping.
How did she react to that?
Oh, she was a screamer. Hello and welcome once again to the darkened room of music conversation that shed a little light on our childhood. What do you say?
Sounds like fun.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Darren, and today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about music that was introduced to us by our parents that made a lasting impact.
Yes.
So, in other words, we still like it to this day.
Yeah, going to rewind back probably before I was 10.
Yeah.
One of the memories I have was I was probably 11 or 12, but we're going way back.
Way back. So the very beginnings of your musical influences,
yes.
I would say.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to get this elephant out of the room right now. Glenn Campbell, I talk about him all the time. Probably the most important artist, especially as a young kid that I got into, that I gravitated towards. Still love him to this very day. Just a major influence on my life, and the first artist that I admired. And it was, my parents had several of his records in their record collection. I immediately gravitated towards Rhinestone Cowboy, and I wore it out.
Yeah.
And to this day, still love that album, love his entire catalog.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to start out more with a genre.
Okay.
My dad, as you know, greatest bass player that ever lived and walked the earth.
It's amazing.
In my grade school, I guess, first, second grade, I have memories of going to see his band when they were out playing like publicly. I remember especially one time they were playing in a parking lot on a flatbed trailer.
I remember those days seeing stuff like that. Yeah.
So they were a cover band. They would play parties, special events. So my dad, of course, he was more into folk and the Beatles and stuff like that. But because they had the band, they had to cater to a crowd. So I was exposed to a lot of the disco of that era. Yeah. And I have a vivid memory of seeing Dad on stage. He had a fake wig on, a big fake wig, and they were doing Play That Funky Music, White Boy.
Wow. Yeah, I was gonna, when you were describing this, I was gonna guess KC and the Sunshine Band.
Yeah.
That was gonna be
kind of the same
guess.
neighborhood. But I remember the 45s of KC that he had.
Yeah.
I remember Rock the Boat.
Stuff.
Rock the Boat by Hughes Corporation, I believe, is my first memory of song recognition. Yeah. It's like I know the name of the song, I know who does it, and again, I was probably 7 or 8 years old whenever that song came out.
I think it was 75, 74, 75, I don't know, somewhere around in there.
All I know is I think I remember that song first.
Wow. So very cool. Very cool. All right. So the next artist up for me is one that my mom introduced me to. And I probably would have never found this artist on my own because it's not really my style, I would say. Yeah. But I hear it now, and it makes me think of my late great mom. So that makes me happy, and I still enjoy hearing the songs when I do. Yeah. And it is none other than Johnny Mathis. You talk about a unique vocalist, Chances Are, and all those kind of songs. Yeah. I heard him first through my mom's record collection. She would, and I remember this vividly. She would play him late at night, like turn the lights down low and sip on her adult beverage and listen to Johnny Mathis. And it's like, I get it. So there you go.
Very nice. Okay. Well, I'm going to delve into my dad's record collection now. Right. I remember going through it as a kid, and this one record cover, as a kid, you don't know. Right. It creeped me out a little bit.
Blue Oyster Cult.
It was weird. No. It was weird. So I remember taking it to my dad, and I think this may be a memory, maybe not, how memories are from that far back. Right. But I remember wanting to know, why was this man wearing a necklace and wearing makeup? I didn't get it. It was Edgar Winter.
Edgar Winter, yeah.
And it was
a weird looking dude, let's face it.
Yeah, he was weird looking, yeah. So as a kid, it just didn't register me. Like, why is this going on? But I remember the songs, the one that I remember the most, Frankenstein.
Of
I
course.
remember my dad playing that for me. Yeah. He's like, now listen to this keyboard sound. And he was saying something about how he thinks this is one of the first uses of a keyboard solo in a song ever that he could remember anyway.
Yeah, very cool.
So yeah.
And did your dad play that live with his band?
I don't think they did. I don't have any memories of them playing it.
Yeah.
But I remember him loving that song.
Loving the song.
Yeah.
Great
So
choice.
there you go.
All right, up next for me is the first one that I mentioned was Glenn Campbell, which was kind of both my parents, and then Johnny Mathis was influenced by my mom.
Yeah.
So let's go to my dad for the next one.
Hey.
His all-time favorite artist, and I have to admit, the more I heard this artist, the more I warmed up to him. Like a lot of his stuff to this very day.
Yeah.
And it's Elvis Presley. I think there's moments of Elvis Presley that are just fantastic. In particular, the late 60s when he made his comeback. Sang his ass off. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I liked his 70s stuff a lot too. And pretty much all the way through, I can tolerate most of it. There's moments that I really, really like. Would have never happened without the influence of my father.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so back to my dad's record collection.
Yeah.
He had several albums by this group. Kind of like your Johnny Mathis thing. It's not really your style. This wasn't for me either.
Right.
But, he played it a lot. I heard them a lot. And I actually, to this day, still really love this band, Alabama.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I like Alabama too, and I'll tell you, I'll add something to that. Later in life, I met two people that were major players in the Alabama studio recordings.
That's right.
Craig
Yeah.
Kraft, a drummer, Bill Como. They both played on a lot of Alabama songs, and, and my band made a record with those guys, which was cool. And this other drummer named Hayward, unfortunately, who passed away a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
He was the drummer up until the point that Craig took over in the studio.
There you go.
So like Dixieland Delight and all those songs, he was the drummer on them. So kind of weird the way the world works like that. But I like Alabama. I think Loving the First Degree was a fantastic song.
I love that song, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's at the pinnacle for me as far as Alabama songs go.
Yeah, and one that comes to mind that was one of my favorites. I don't know if it was a single. Words at 20 Paces.
I know that song, yeah. Great song.
It's a great song, yeah. He had 4 or 5 of the albums, and I remember putting them on the turntable myself and listening to them.
Yeah, Old Flame. I like that song.
Old Flame's great, yeah.
Alabama was good, man. That's a great choice.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so back to an influence from my mother. This one is an artist that I love to this very day. And I pull her out occasionally and listen to her. She's just kind of got one of those voices that when you're in the mood to hear it, there's like no substitute. And I'm talking about Patsy Cline. Yeah, my mom, that was her favorite singer ever. And my mom was a country singer, and she kind of sang in that kind of vein.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. But I really love Patsy Cline, and it was so strange. I remember this so vividly. When I got into Rush, like in the mid-'80s, I remember hearing an interview. Because I was, as a kid, you're like, do you like, like Patsy Cline? You don't want to brag about it or whatever, because you're a kid and you worry about what other people think. And lo and behold, I'm listening to a interview on Rockline with Rush, and Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson both say that they had been listening to Patsy Cline nonstop. And I'm like, yeah, that's my boys right there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to school and tell everybody I love Patsy Cline. So
there you go. It legitimized your love for Patsy Cline.
As a teenager, it did.
Yeah, I actually have a memory of Patsy Cline, too. The first time I ever heard her, my dad was playing it at his parents' house out in Texas.
Yeah.
They had one of her records.
So they were fans, too.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. And, I remember that's the first time I ever heard it. So you could almost put that in this category, too.
Right.
I didn't actually have it on the list. But, Patsy Cline, awesome.
Nice.
I really thought she was more jazz than anything.
Yeah, great singer.
All right, so growing up, my dad was a blues fan. He was hugely into blues. He loves blues solos and all that. And I distinctly remember them. This seems unrelated at first, but it does come around full circle. I remember his band playing Boz Scaggs' Low Down.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes.
And it really made me appreciate that song and Boz Scaggs as an artist.
Right.
But I didn't realize the depth of Boz Scaggs'
music
catalog. Yeah. So it was
Really
like
great artist.
years later. I'd always loved Boz Scaggs. I hadn't really delved deep into his catalog until many years later. I show up at his house and I happen to have a copy of Boz Scaggs' greatest collection, which was called My Time.
Yeah, the double CD.
The double CD one.
That's fantastic.
And he looked at it and he's like, "Oh my God, Running Blue is on here. You gotta hear this song." And it is a straight up blues jam.
Yeah, totally.
It is so cool.
Great playing on those albums.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Boz Scaggs
If it weren't for Dad's influence, hearing that song with his band and him listening to Lowdown so much, I probably would have never discovered that song. And I love that song to this day, too.
Me too, man.
So,
it made my AM top 40 list.
Yeah.
It did.
It did. Yeah.
I'll always love that song.
Yeah, great song.
All right. And I guess I'm to my final choice right here. Now, you got to understand, my parents are mainly country fans and early rock and roll fans. And this is an artist, I would say, out of this list, other than Glenn Campbell. I had to get that one out of the way.
Yeah.
This is probably my favorite artist on this list, other than Glenn Campbell. And I really people don't really have enough appreciation for this guy. He's still around. He's in his 80s, and he still performs, which is really crazy. But I'm talking about, and this is once again something my dad introduced me to, Jerry Lee Lewis.
Oh, wow.
An amazing musician, just a fabulous piano player. But Jerry had an interesting career. He, as he went along and music styles changed and everything, he actually adapted into and kind of morphed into a country artist.
Yeah.
And those country records he made are like what made Milwaukee famous. Just great stuff.
Yeah.
If you've never heard that stuff or just Jerry Lee in general, he is wonderful.
Yeah.
And I love his early stuff that had all the energy and all that stuff, but I even like the country stuff, and even through the 70s, I was a big fan.
Yeah, he rubbed elbows with Johnny Cash there early on in his career, too.
Yeah, the whole Sun thing with Elvis and Johnny Cash and all that. So Jerry Lee Lewis, thumbs up, love him.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so my last thing I'm going to touch on is from my mom.
Okay.
And
this is the only artist from your mom's influence.
It's not an artist.
Okay,
It's not an artist.
I'll shut up.
It is a specific collection of hits on one record by a specific
Look at
company.
you cheating here. You're cheating.
Well, this is what introduced me to a genre.
See?
I'm going to round it out with a genre again.
Okay.
She had a K-Tel collection called Neon Nights.
Yeah, I know that.
And if it weren't for her having this cassette and me listening to it over and over and over, I probably wouldn't have had the appreciation for R&B. So yeah, okay, this compilation had some great songs on it. Daz Band, Let It Whip. I'm having to look it up here because I can't remember everything.
It was a long time
on
ago,
it.
like 1982.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Rick James, Super Freak was on there.
Oh, yeah.
Sky, Call Me. Prince, Controversy.
Great song.
War, You Got the Power.
Yeah.
Human League, Don't You Want Me was on there, which didn't, at the time, maybe it did fit because it did kind of have an R&B feel to it.
It's danceable.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Cool and the Gang, Get Down on It.
Love that song.
Yeah. Hall & Oates, I Can't Go For That.
Excellent.
Shalimar, A Night to Remember.
Good one.
Atlantic Star, Circles. Cherie, Murphy's Law, and Junior, Mama used to say.
That's probably my favorite song. Right?
That is my favorite. Yeah.
Other than I Can't Go For That.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Let's not Rodney Dangerfield, Hall & Oates again.
Yeah, that's a wonderful compilation.
So that was kind of like my first introduction into the world of R&B and what it had to offer. Because I think some of those didn't make the pop charts, or at least didn't go all that high.
Exactly.
They were more on the R&B charts.
Yeah, so. And I think with K-Tel, I'm not positive about this, but I think a lot of times they had the real hard hitters on there, and then other artists and labels would try to buy their way on there.
Yeah.
To try to get next to those big songs and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how that worked.
But man, that turned out to be an awesome collection. It really impacted me.
Yeah, I love every song on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, very cool. All right, so we're going to drop some of these songs down in the Spotify playlist, some of our earliest influential moments from my parents. And so check it out. The link will be in the description. And of course, click to subscribe if you haven't already.
Right.
Spread the word around. Tell your friends about us.
Thanks for watching this episode of In a Darkened Room. You can find the link to this episode's companion Spotify playlist in the description. Darren and Chris welcome your comments. You can leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. Follow In a Darkened Room on Twitter to receive updates and submit your ideas for what we should discuss in upcoming episodes. Darren and Chris are also on Instagram, so give them a follow there as well. All of these links can be found in the description below. While you're there, be sure to click subscribe and ring the bell.
All right, random topic time, and we're going to play on the Spotify playlist again. What do you say?
Sounds good. Shuffle Play is one of my favorite
Shuffle
games.
Play, let's hit it.
Yeah.
And the result is The Boxer by Simon and Garfunkel.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't think that's the first time they've come up on a discussion here on this channel, right?
It is, yeah. Simon and Garfunkel, and man, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Talk about vocal harmonies. I mean, it's... I remember my dad liking them a lot.
And that song in particular is possibly my favorite Simon and Garfunkel song.
I think so. If I really were
chorus
forced to rank them, it would be, at the top.
Now, a memory that I have when we hear these topics and we got to talk off the top of our head, I instantly go to something. Do you remember when they did the reunion concert in the park?
Yeah, in Central Park. Yeah,
Central Park. I remember HBO played that. They were involved in that somehow.
That was a big deal.
Big deal, because I guess they hadn't been together in like a decade or something.
Yeah.
And Paul had already had an illustrious solo career, and he had on the other side of that reunion, he had more good stuff to come as well with Call Me Al and all that stuff.
Yeah.
In the 80s, later in the 80s.
Yeah.
So overall, I like Simon and Garfunkel.
I do too.
Yeah. I don't go out of my way to listen to them a lot right now. I'm never bothered by hearing them.
Right.
And if you want me to analyze what they did, I think they were fantastic.
Yeah. A great memory for me on this song is I love all of Angie Apparo's self-written stuff.
Yeah.
But if I had to rank the covers that I've heard him do, this would be my number one cover by Angie when he did The Boxer.
Wow. I could totally hear that.
It was so good.
And I liked Queensryche once did Scarborough Fair. And it was very...
Well,
very
that's out
cool.
in left field.
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Very cool. All right. Yeah. Well, thanks, guys, for joining us. We'll be back again with another episode, so take care.
See you next time. Thank you.